Very serious topic today, YouTube. The Bank of England is doing their duty and exercising deep concerns over the financial future of El Salvador and the El Salvadorian people. The Bank of England is doing what they should be doing, and they should be letting the people of El Salvador know that owning money that you can own is very, very dangerous. And you must have a central bank like the Bank of England to ensure that the system does not allow you to own your own money. The Bank of England has issued a deep concern to the El Salvadorian people that they might be able to transact financially with each other without censorship in the middle. It is very concerning for the Bank of England that individuals might be able to pay each other without having a big financial institution in the middle. The Bank of England has also expressed its concern to the El Salvadorian people that their products and their legal tender are being built upon a system whose monetary policy is completely known and calculated into the future. The Bank of England is very concerned that El Salvador might actually be able to plan financially around a monetary system where you know exactly how much supply it has. The Bank of England is deeply concerned that El Salvador is not taking a loan from the International Monetary Fund in order to solve the problem of debt with more debt. The Bank of England really cares about the fact that El Salvador is not, the people are not going to take on money and borrow the money into existence, crippling their economy deeper and deeper into debt. The Bank of England is very concerned that El Salvador is not issuing their own central bank digital currency, and that El Salvador is not depending upon the Federal Reserve to back their dollar-denominated debt. The Bank of England is really concerned that people might actually generate a wealth effect. And if they generate a wealth effect with money they can own, money they can spend, and money who has a fixed supply, they might start saving. And the Bank of England believes that El Salvador should issue their central bank digital currency and program in negative interest rates just to ensure that people don't save and they get penalized for saving. The Bank of England really believes that the government and the central bank should work together much more closely. They should be looking at modern monetary theory as a mechanism for exercising government influence through the issuance of currency and the issuance of money. The Bank of England is very concerned that El Salvador might get closer to paying off their national debt by, instead of issuing a bond backed by the dollar, they're denominating it in the dollar and backing it by Bitcoin. The Bank of England is extremely concerned that the price rise in the value of those Bitcoin could end up outperforming the debt instruments and the bonds and treasuries and everything that their friends at the central bank have been issuing for years. The Bank of England is deeply concerned that investors might be able to invest in a product that actually gives them a real return above inflation at the same time as a kicker if digital hard sound money succeeds. The Bank of England really cares about the El Salvadorian people. The Bank of England does not want you to save. The Bank of England wants the banks to create digital currency every time they issue a loan. The Bank of England wants to regulate the world's largest regulated Ponzi scheme. And the Bank of England is deeply concerned about El Salvadorian companies that might be accepting Bitcoin and might be incentivized to save and might instead hold some of that Bitcoin on their company balance sheet, and instead they might save it. And the Bank of England is deeply concerned that if the El Salvadorian government proves that you can reinvent money using money that you don't control, using money that anybody can own, anybody can spend, and whose monetary policy is based upon maths and code and predictable into the future and fixed and can never be changed. The Bank of England is concerned that El Salvador might just change the world, and El Salvador might reinvent the bond market, and might reinvent money, and might reinvent legal tender, and might reinvent sovereign debt, and might reinvent securities. And the Bank of England needs to issue that warning and get round the table with the IMF and share its deep concern that it has for all those in El Salvador that might be changing the future of finance, which will have a radically different and could have a radically different effect on their individuals, their companies, and their governments. So always remember, the Bank of England has your best interest at heart. The Bank of England is therefore, as a public service, issuing a central bank digital currency backed by a currency that goes down in value over the time, that can automate negative interest rates to punish you for saving, that encourages the over-leveraging and over-indebtedness of both individuals, that can be used for governments to, rather than issue their own currency, borrow it and pay interest, and make sure that the central bank digital currency is reinventing the financial markets using money that you can't own, money that you can't spend, and whose supply is changed at the whims of the Bank of England. Always remember, you are alive at one of the most interesting and exciting times in financial history. You can listen to the Bank of England and be on one side of the change, or you can listen to El Salvador and Bitcoin and be on the other side of this change. My job in giving these videos is to make sure that you're on the right side of that change. The Bank of England will continue to issue warnings. The International Monetary Fund will continue to issue warnings. But El Salvador, keep doing what you're doing. This one's going to be for the brave. And I think the Bitcoin community are going to support you in doing whatever it can to show that people can own their own money, people can spend their own money, and you can build some of the most innovative financial products in the world based upon money that you do not control at your central bank and whose supply is fixed. So always remember, you are alive at that interesting and exciting time in financial history, and I want you to stay on the right side of that change. As the Bank of England thinks about your peace, your love, and your unity, we'll make sure that El Salvador really does change the future of finance, and we all get to participate in that. I'll see you on the other side. See you tomorrow. Peace.